Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Caitlin. If you're new here, I just want to reintroduce myself a little bit. I'm a uterine cancer survivor and I started this channel in 2024 when the restaurant that I worked at, it closed down. And honestly, I kind of stopped posting because that time of my life was very hard and it was like everything that I had went through had finally crashed down on me now that I wasn't working and busy all the time. There was a lot of stuff in my life, a lot of changes in my life, and having all this free time to think about what I went through. It was very hard, but that's why I stopped posting back in 2024. And this year I started posting again, and I think like a lot of people who do social media, that you want to make a living, and I haven't gotten to that point yet. I don't get paid for any of the videos I make. I have no sponsorships or anything yet, so yet, that's the key word, right? I hope that I can get to that point where I am making an income. For right now, I am just trying to build up my channel, so if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and like this video. It would mean a lot to me, and it already means a lot to me that I have over 300 subscribers, and I'm sure that if I keep at this, I will look back and be like, 300? Girl, that was nothing. But right now, it feels like a lot because I've built literally from zero. I had 0 subscribers when I started, so yeah, it definitely means a lot. Today, I wanted to talk about life after cancer. I am now 5 years cancer free, which is crazy to think about, and just how much I've grown since then. And then I also have a whole bunch of questions that I asked my family actually, because I was too nervous to put up a questionnaire on my Instagram, and I don't know why, but I just recently started posting these videos that I post on YouTube onto my Instagram. Yeah, it's just kind of nerve-wracking because everyone I know is there, and it almost feels like YouTube is like a separate thing. And if I keep telling myself that, even though I know people that have come up to me and that I know in my personal life and said they've watched my videos, I still, in my head, this is a separate world. There's other people here. It's not my family. It's not my friends, you know? So, anyway, I had asked my family and some friends for some questions because I just really didn't know what kind of questions to answer. I will be answering those yet. I am going to pop up some videos. I don't know how to link the videos yet in my video so that you can just click it and it brings you straight to the video. I don't know how to do that yet, okay? I am learning, but I'm not very good with technology, so editing is already a big win for me. But I will put up the thumbnails, I guess, so that if you want to go on my channel and find those videos, it'll be easier. Diagnosed with a rare cancer. The cancer didn't show up on any tests. Everything that went wrong after my hysterectomy, and the symptoms I experienced while dealing with cancer. I don't really know where to start. I guess I did want to start with how life kind of looks after cancer. When I was 18, I got diagnosed with a rare uterine cancer. It's called a high-grade endometrial sarcoma, or stromal, something like that. It was an extremely aggressive, extremely painful cancer that left me with a lot of PTSD with anything medical. I've had 6 different surgeries. The last surgery I had was in 2023. I had my left ovary removed. It was completely taken over by endometriosis. I've been cancer-free since January 2021, but my last surgery was 2.5 years ago. Right now, in this moment, I am probably the healthiest I've ever been in the last 10 years. Just because I was so sick with cancer, first of all, since I was young. I always had problems with my period. I had cyst endometriosis since I was 13, and now I have no health issues at this moment. I'm really happy about that. Making these videos can be kind of hard sometimes just because it brings up a lot, but right now I'm also feeling a lot because I have an appointment coming up, and no matter what, this is a thing with post cancer, and I think that a lot of cancer patients can agree with that it gives you anxiety. And even though this appointment is literally a phone call and then we're going to schedule a CT and it's just the yearly scan to make sure everything's good, it still really gets to me. So right now I am thinking about that a lot, and I figured I need to just talk about some things and I'll feel better. And that's like the main reason why I started this channel. I just needed to let everything out and talk about it, and it's really nice to have a channel where when I feel that way, I can just prop up my phone and just let it out. It's actually helped a lot with my mental health. Since I've had quite a few surgeries, I have a lot of scar tissue in my stomach. It's actually quite painful sometimes, and I am just now kind of getting over that. What I mean by that is that every little pain that I've had, it kind of freaks me out. And so I stopped working out, I stopped doing anything really active, and I just didn't want to, even sore muscles would really scare me. Now, recently, I have started walking and I absolutely love it. And I started really slow so I didn't get the sore muscles. Now, when I do have a little bit of soreness, I am much more okay because it's been quite a few years. Things always get easier as the years go on. I would recommend that if you're going through cancer, please go to therapy, because I did not. I mean, I have now. I waited 3 years. I didn't know I needed therapy until the restaurant closed, and I kind of had a mental break. I saw a Christian counselor, and then my doctor sent me to a therapist. That has helped so much. I only have 40 minutes to film, or else the space is full. So I think that I'll just get into the questions right now. Okay, first question. Have you come to the point where cancer was a thing of the past and you're able to move on? Short answer, no, it doesn't. I think that it has gotten a lot easier throughout the years since it's been 5 years now. I don't think about it as much now as I used to, especially even maybe a year ago. So, yes and no. Sometimes it feels like, wow, I haven't thought about it in a long time. I'm not overthinking everything. I feel really good and I feel really happy, and I don't think about it as much. But then other times it feels like that was literally just yesterday when it was 5 years ago. I guess I don't really know how to answer that. I don't think I'm at a point yet where it feels like, oh, that's a thing of the past and I can move on. How do you think life as a 24-year-old is different from other girls who haven't gone through cancer? I think that my life is definitely different. I have a lot more experience with, I guess, talking to doctors. I think I definitely matured faster than other girls because I was dealing with that. How did it affect your relationship with Corny? So, Corny is my husband, and we started dating when we were both 13 years old. We've now been together for 10 and a half years. I know, crazy. It didn't affect our relationship that much, to be honest, because when I was so sick, I was practically just sleeping all the time. So he would just come over and sit with me. It was definitely hard for him. He had a lot of fear that I wasn't going to be okay. And I would also have a lot of fear if he was that sick. I think that definitely affected him. But through everything, we never broke up. And after I was cancer free, pretty quickly after, we got baptized, got engaged, and got married. How do you feel when someone says the word cancer? Scared. It's scary. Honestly, I have a hard time talking to people who are talking about cancer. Sometimes it really gets to me, and sometimes I'm okay, I guess. I don't know. It definitely triggers me a little bit. Did it bother you to see people looking at you with sympathy? I think the only time where it bothers me is in the moment where I don't think it's going to be brought up that I had cancer, is when a stranger will ask me if me and my husband have kids yet or anything. And I don't know, somehow it always gets brought up, stuff like that. Now I'm better at just saying, no, not yet. I'll just say that. And then they'll say, oh, are you gonna yet? and it's like, no, I had cancer, so I can't have kids. And then it kind of like gets brought up when I'm not ready. And that is quite hard because then the people you're talking to are like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, but you're like not ready to talk about it. You're not mentally prepared. But when I was going through it, it was during COVID. So my family and like relatives knew. There was a lot of people from churches that would come and visit me, especially after I had my hysterectomy. Then people came and they brought me gifts, and like I didn't even know who they were. No, it didn't bother me. I was also on like a lot of pain medication for a long time after my hysterectomy because I had an infection and it was very, very painful. When it does come up, I'm fine talking about it, and I think that it would bother me more if I wasn't okay talking about it. Did you have a time where thinking about the future was hard? Oh, definitely. Definitely. When I was first told that it was uterine cancer and that a hysterectomy was really the only thing that could do 99% sure that it's going to be all gone if I get a hysterectomy, and just knowing that like that was the safest thing I could do, that my life was going to look so different. I was never a girl that fantasized about having kids and talked about that a lot. Like I never would sit and say like, "Oh, I'm going to have this many kids by the time I'm 20." And I'm also Mennonite, so that's very normal to have, 3 kids by the time you're like 22. So, and I was never like that. Me having that mindset already that kids just weren't ever on my mind. Of course it was hard. I definitely moved on from that being the hardest thing about it. And then also just thinking like, oh, what if I die? To be honest, I mean, I thought about that a lot. And then also all the appointments and just knowing that it's a lot easier now that I have graduated from the cancer clinic, but then thinking this is my life. I'm going to be going to appointments every 3 months for the rest of my life. Every little ache and pain, I'm calling my doctor. They're booking me in for an MRI. They're getting blood work. Like, it was terrifying and it was exhausting, and I couldn't see in the future being easier. I definitely had a point where thinking about the future was quite hard. And now I think about the future and it's other things that kind of um, make it hard, just because I still have very bad anxiety with driving. Like, I'll drive places, but it's stoplights that I will not go through. And then just like trying to make my YouTube channel something that people want to watch so that I can make an income with it, and trying to find out like what really brings me joy, what am I actually interested in, because you've just changed so much. I think that's really what worries me about the future. Do you miss having a period? No, I do not. And I'm so at peace with the not having kids part of my life that it really doesn't bother me that I don't have a period anymore. I know I can never have kids on my own, and not having a period, not having a uterus will do that. So, we maybe will adopt one day, but right now in the future, that just isn't on our cards right now. Guys, I never had a normal period. I think it was grade 7 when I got my first period. I was like 11 years old, and I always had horrible, horrible cramps. The first time that I went on birth control because of cysts on my ovaries, I was 13 years old. Like, I had the worst experience with my periods, and they were always very long, at least 8 days long, and very, very heavy. The cramping was awful, and yeah, I honestly don't miss that. It's been so long since I've had a period that I literally forget that people still have them. It's weird. Is life back to normal, or what is normal? That's a good question. What is normal? Sometimes it makes me sad thinking about my younger self and like what life used to look like. Even though I did have really bad periods, I was just so carefree. The anxiety that I have now, I was a crazy person, and I feel like I still have that a little bit, but definitely from dealing with severe depression this last 2 years, it's changed me a lot. I want to say I miss the old me, but then I'm a woman now, and the old me before cancer was a little girl. I was just so young and just trying to like figure out life, but then cancer was in the picture and I was just trying to like live like I wasn't sick all the time. And yeah, I think that sometimes I miss the old me, and I don't know if I'll ever get like that spark back. I think that I am slowly. As I'm figuring out what I really like, I have gotten really into reading, and for some reason, that has brought so much joy into my life right now. Walking through life with faith is definitely something that brings me a lot of joy. I miss the old me, but I'm also excited for the future. I don't know. I guess I'll leave it at that. Words of advice for someone going through this particular cancer. Oh my gosh, am I even qualified to give advice? First of all, if you're having a lot of pain to the point where you can't even live a normal life, go see a doctor. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Go see a doctor and make sure you get someone that's going to listen to you. And if you don't, then advocate for yourself or get someone else to come to your appointment with you that you know is going to tell those doctors, no, go get a different doctor, get them in here to see what's wrong. I think that women's health is getting a little bit better, but it's very hard for a doctor to listen to a teenager that is telling them they have back cramps. Especially where I live, there's a town closest to me that is pretty sketchy. The Emerge is just full of people that are there for a quick medication. And then I come in and I'm like, I'm in so much pain and I know what medication's gonna help. And they're like, okay, girl, like, you want morphine? You're coming in here being like, give me morphine? Yeah, you sound crazy. And I know I did sound crazy. I knew it would help me. And I knew once I got that medication, I would feel better. So, yeah. I mean, I did sound a little crazy, but I advocated for myself, especially during COVID, because this was all going on during COVID. I had to be there alone, even though I was like 17 and then going to 18. If you know you have cancer, I recommend really talking to someone, talking to a therapist, and especially if you're a Christian, talking to a Christian counselor is always really helpful. And there's a lot of free therapists. I'm sure that if you talk to your doctor, that they would hook you up with someone free. There's people that even come and pick you up from your house and drive you to therapy for free. You just have to reach out to get the help. Don't look too far into the future because that's going to be overwhelming. Be where you are right now, be with people around you that love you, and take the help that people are trying to give you if they are, or reach out if you need help. Yeah, that's my advice. Did the experience teach you anything? This experience has definitely taught me a lot. I had to grow up very fast. I feel like that taught me a lot, to have more grace for people. You don't know what they're going through. And just being in the hospital so much, I was just a teenager trying to live life like normal, and people around me wouldn't have even known that I was going through something so horrible. I think it just taught me to have a lot more grace and don't judge people so fast, so easily. That also comes with just having the Holy Spirit and Jesus in my heart all the time. Okay, guys, last question. Being that you went through this in the midst of COVID-19, do you believe the medical staff functioned in a way that still made you feel comfortable? This is a very simple question. Even though I was there all alone, yes, I felt very comfortable. The staff always went above and beyond. There was always some women that felt like a mother figure to me or a sister figure, and just felt so like I was getting taken care of and I was so loved. I know people get really frustrated with that time. Yes, trust me, it was very frustrating. I was in the hospital alone. I had cancer. I had a hysterectomy. Things were not looking good. The healing from that was very hard. A month after my hysterectomy, I had to be hospitalized for like a week due to an infection that had just formed. That was a time in my life where I was very sick and I felt very lonely. Nurses, the doctors, all the staff, they always made me feel loved. The first time that I took a shower in my hospital room, I remember there was, I think, two women that were helping me, maybe three. They just made me feel very comfortable. They made me feel safe, and I didn't have anything to worry about because they got my back. Them sympathizing with me, and some of them coming in to talk to me and, oh, are you okay? I was in my own room and they would make sure to check on me and make sure I was okay. I threw up on a nurse once. She just had so much grace about it. She was like, girl, you're okay. We're gonna get you cleaned up. Like, she was worried about me and I was freaking out because I'm like, I just threw up on you. I'm so sorry. I always had really good nurses. And I do not feel like anything was compromised with COVID. You know, they were just doing their job. You think they wanted to be there in the mass? You think they wanted to see little girls come in for a hysterectomy and have no one holding their hand when they got out of surgery? No, they didn't. So they did that job for my mom. Snaps for them because they did amazing. If you stayed to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. My camera is going to stop recording because it is almost out of space and I've been having to delete things throughout this whole video because my camera keeps stopping in between. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! Oh goodness, my legs! They are numb. I'm sitting on them for so long. Coffee! Girl, I almost just took the lid off. I don't know why I straightened the front pieces. What's going on? What was I saying? There's someone outside. I'm just gonna wait for them to leave. It's my brother Aaron. First of all, if you're having